Hi. So I did a blog on taking action and creating a plan, and this is an expansion of that. This is me going into a little more of a deep dive of that blog to kind of help you take those steps that I listed out in the blog and work at them a little bit more. So, um, the whole idea of you want to make change, you decide you want to make change, you figured out what you want to change, but then it's like, oh, I got to take action on this. How am I going to do that? And sometimes people get stuck with, I just don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. So it's good to kind of have these steps and to follow them along and have some kind of guideline to help you get started with your plan your plan and your change that you want to create. So um, the first step is thinking about defining your vision. So what I mean by that is, what is it that you see yourself doing in a future state? What is this change? Really visualizing what it is that you want to be, you want to do, whatever it is in your writing or anything in your life that you're deciding to change. What is this that you're really thinking about doing? Picture it, make sure it's unique to you. It's something that you're doing for you and it's not for someone else or what you want you others you think others want you to do or you think you should do, or this is what the horse industry does, so this is what I should do. What is it you do for you with the horse you have, with the finances you have, with the circumstances you have? And, pick this change, pick this vision that's a bit of a stretch, so you want to make the change. Make it a stretch, but don't make it unrealistic. So make it something that's doable that you can reach and get to, but make it a little bit of a stretch. And then, but again, make it for you, not for someone else. So if it doesn't align 100% with what you think the horse industry does, you think your discipline, be it hunter, jumper, western, dressage, whatever, expects people to do, that's okay. It's what you're going to do at your pace, with the resources and everything you have. So then once you've got that vision created and really picture yourself in it and feel it and what it's going to be like and really take time to create that, then you want to kind of start setting up small goals for that vision. So I used to, and I still do, I coach equestrians in business, and we create business plans, and it's the same idea. Within a business plan you work on creating a vision, and a mission, a mission statement for your business. But people can get stuck, and I used to talk to people when they're doing their, it's the same way, whether no matter what you're doing, but like in a business, there's this big goal that they at the end that they want this type of business, and there's nothing wrong with the goal. It's it's within their reach maybe and stuff, but it's a big goal, and it can seem very overwhelming and like you feel really stuck, so you can't even get started. So you just don't start because you're so focused on this big goal. So what you want to do is kind of come back from the goal and break it in steps. You can almost break it like it's a backwards. So before the big goal, what would you need to be doing? And before that, what would you need to be doing? And before that, you can even break up the steps. And then what is it I need to be doing right now to get to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, and eventually to your goal? Because those small steps will come together, um, and become that big vision. But if you get yourself doing them all and looking at it in this big, oh, this is where I need to go, this is where I want to be, you'll never get there because you'll be so caught up in that couple things. You'll be so wishing that you want to be somewhere else. You will be so overwhelmed by the size of the bigness of where you want to go that you'll just get stuck and stay in place and not get going anywhere. So it's really important for you to um, break these small steps up, attainable steps. And then the other thing is to really celebrate those steps. So when you accomplish one of those small steps, celebrate it. It's wonderful. Tap that in, get that into your brain, get that into feeling your emotions so that you really keep building on them, and give yourself a pat on the back each time. And it could be daily. You can have daily small steps to your goals, no matter what, whatever it is you decide in your riding in life. But always celebrate them. And then as you go along, also remember to review and adjust your goals, because what will happen is maybe your plan, you made this plan of all these steps, maybe something comes along that you didn't expect, that all of a sudden, oh dear, now, like my horse is lame. I hurt myself. I my budget got tight. I had to, fix my car, do whatever, and now I can't, you know, um, do what I wanted to quite as fast. That's okay. Those things happen. So adjust your goals, and then within that, so say your horse got hurt, um, and is laid up for a month or something, or 2 months or whatever. Then what can I do in between to still keep progressing? Watching videos, reading, whatever it may be, working with my horse on the ground, whatever it may be, so that I can continue and keep progressing, even though it may be slowing things down, and I can keep celebrating and making progress. Okay, so always, review where you're at. Maybe you're further along than you expected too. It can happen that way. You're like, wow, I didn't expect to get here that fast. So, maybe I need to readjust this, and my timeline can be different. Things are looking, coming along really well. And also, as you're doing it, remember to embrace your uniqueness. Embrace it. Um, make it your path. It's going to be distinct. It needs to be for you. And I mentioned it earlier, but um, it really is going to be, you know, influenced by, where you are in your life, where you are with your finances, what you have as a horse, and if that's what you have, and your horse is, you love your horse, and your horse is at a certain level, and that's the level it's going to get to, and you can't afford to have another horse to go to a higher level, then understand that. And that's part of your uniqueness, but that doesn't mean you can't keep improving and get to goals. Um, Again, make sure everything's really tailored to your situation, so that you don't get disappointed. I mean, we can get disappointed. I can think, well, like, I want to be, I'm 68 now, so that would not happen. But say when I was younger, I want to be an Olympian. Well, maybe I didn't have that talent, or I don't have the resources, or I don't have the whatever. And so you've got to be realistic too, as you embrace your uniqueness and say, it's okay if I don't have those things, but how can I be the best version of me? Right. And again, as I said, review and adjust and plan for the bumps in the road that I mentioned a little earlier. They will happen. So you're always reviewing and adjusting and tweaking, because maybe you got someplace a little faster. Maybe you didn't get there quite as fast, and there really weren't real bumps in the road, but you just kind of went, oh, that took longer than I expected. But real bumps, like I mentioned earlier, can happen, and you want to just plan for them. Don't get disappointed by them. They're going to happen. That is life. So don't let them derail you. So I did, already talk about the types of bumps already that you get, some of them, so I'm not going to get into that so much more right now, but remember that these bumps aren't going to derail you. You're just going to look for a new path around them. It may take you a little longer. You may not get where you want, and you may actually find a new goal in the process. That does happen too. Sometimes the bumps get in the way, or you got to navigate around something, and you're all of a sudden going, oh, I didn't think about this. Maybe I'll do this instead. I had planned to be this, and I wanted this, but in the process, I had some bumps in the road, and I learned, while navigating through the bumps, I learned about this other thing that I could do in riding or whatever. And actually, I want to go down that path instead. So look at the bumps as possible opportunities for new avenues, um, opportunities to learn and grow, not as something that's going to stop you from going forward. And then the other thing is to really stay focused on the plan that you have and don't get caught up in, distracted by a lot of different things. Stay focused and pick one thing at a time. So, um, research has shown that if you try to multitask, you can't do it well. I'm not going to go deep into that, but just know that our brains can't handle multitasking very well. So pick one thing at a time. And that's why these small goals are good. Steps are good too. One step, what is it you're going to work on that's most important right now? The next step, stay laser focused, work on that. Build off of that. The next step, stay laser focused. So really put your focus and tackle on one thing at a time. Because when you start multitasking and try to, I'm going to do this and this and this and this all at once, it's going to dilute your ability to do any of them well. So really one thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. That can even be within a ride. Like the first 15 minutes, I'm going to work on this. And the last 15 minutes, I'm going to work on that. So that you're focusing on one thing and then one thing. When you're changing something in your position or technique, one thing first, work on it, then work on the next thing. Because anything you're trying to change, your brain, and I talked about that, when talking about change, your brain goes on autopilot. So it's automatically going to do what it's used to. When you want to change something, you've got to be really focused on that one thing that you're trying to change to make that happen, to create new habits. So that's the importance of that focus as well. If you're not really focused on that one thing you're trying to change and grow and stuff, it will be hard for you to make that happen. Certainly, we can get away more with multitasking if there are things that we're comfortable doing anyway. So yes, we do all multitask. Some you might be, working on a couple of things at the same time, but you're not trying to change something or learn new things. You're just getting a couple of things done. You're cleaning while you're, making a phone call or something like that. Yes. Does that work? Are you 100% focused on both the tasks? Probably not, but you can get away with doing it. But when you're really trying to change something, you really need to keep that laser focus. And then finally, remain open and curious about what you're doing. Like, wow, I planned on that, but this came up and that's kind of interesting. Is that something I want to investigate more? Or I did this and I had this disastrous result. What's that about? Where'd that come from? Why is that happening? What can I do differently? How can I learn from it? Really open to mistakes, open to new possibilities, open to change. So even though you're creating a change, within the change, be open to change, changing that path, looking possibly at doing something differently. So this is just a little deeper dive into that article. I wanted, I find, sometimes talking about it helps people, when they can hear it. It's another way for people to learn. So I wanted to create this video. So if you have any questions about it or want to share any feedback about it, feel free to contact me at mindfulequestrian.com and have a wonderful day.